The history of the SICURA watch brand with Breitling. SICURA is one of the most important brands of the world in large, vintage, and affordable watches. SICURA originated from a company called J.O.H. Gabor Horology, established in 1939, and then supposedly in 1951, the company was listed as SICURA J.O.H. Gabor, and finally, in May 1955, the company can be found in the Swiss Handels Register as Montres SICURA S.A. The company was owned by a Theodore Stefalos, and when he died in the beginning of the 1960s, SICURA was taken over by his son-in-law, Ernest Frederick Schneider. Ernest Schneider was born in 1921, and thus was around 40 years old when he took over SICURA. He had been in the Swiss Army since the age of 20 and ended as an officer in the 10th Brigade. Ernest Schneider became the driving force behind SICURA's growth and a maker of affordable watches that followed the latest trends. The watch cases were often brass-plated metal with standard pin-level movements to keep production costs low. This also made the prices very affordable. From what we know from this fantastic brochure, is that SICURA in 1975 had 4 watch assembly factories, 1 case factory and 1 jewel factory, which employed 450 people and produced more than 1 million watches per year. In 1975, almost all the watches in the brochure had mechanical movements, and a few had electromechanical movements, with no quartz yet, period. Less than 2 years later, another brochure showed that SICURA had later produced watches with quartz movements and LCD displays. They also introduced the stunt watch with a SICURA quartz movement, in which is said to be sold well into the 1980s. As a consequence of the quartz watch crisis of the 1970s, Breitling suspended operations in 1978, laying off all of their workers and selling all of their assets to the highest bidders. The company SIN bought completed and partially completed watches, while Ulrich and Wage bought the machinery and assembly parts used for them. In April 1979, Ernest Schneider from SICURA signed an agreement with Willy Breitling to buy the right to the names Breitling and Navitimer. Ernest Schneider with SICURA had been better than most to navigate through the turbulent times of the watch crisis of the 1970s. He was a master at adapting and delivering what the customers wanted: inexpensive fashion watches, affordable watches with digital displays, large colorful divers pieces with a lot of functions, and quartz watches. When he saw the opportunity to purchase Breitling, one of the oldest, well-esteemed watch brands in the marketplace, this was a perfect opportunity not to be missed. Ernest Schneider introduced new models and breathed new life into Breitling with success, and during a few years, the brand SICURA was phased out and SICURA became Breitling. On the 29th of November 1993, Montres SICURA AG officially changed its name to Breitling AG. Ernest Schneider continued as president for Breitling until his death in 2015 at the remarkable age of 94. Ernest's son Theodore Schneider today is the owner and the undisputed leader of Breitling. The history and summary has been brought to you by largevintagewatches.blogspot.com. I'm Drew Pizzulo from Watch Out. Thank you for joining us.